I'm getting some citrus, some exotic fruit, bit of sweaty feet. Oh no, not sweaty feet. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Jura. It's one of my favourite wine regions, and it's one region that people haven't really heard of. There's only one page in this massive thick book about Jura. But if you go to like a really hipster or fine dining restaurant, you might find a whole page of just Jura wines. So I'm sure as time goes by, this Jura section will probably expand over a few pages. But for now, it's quite under the radar. If you go to Lyon, and then you go a little bit further east, up in the hills, on the border where Switzerland is, that's where Jura is. And they've got quite a lot of rainfall there, so you'll see that all of the landscape is very green and lush. That happens to be great for cows and grass, which is why some of the best cheeses are made there, including this one, Comté. And if you go over the border, it's similar weather. It's in Switzerland they make the Gruyere cheese as well. But we're here for wines. So the wines over there are made out of Chardonnay, another grape called Sauvignon, Ploussard, which is like a light skinned variety, Trousseau, another one, makes quite light coloured wines, Pinot Noir, stuff like that. There's a big focus on growing biodynamically and growing without chemicals and doing things traditionally. It's popular with winemakers pursuing a no added sulphur path. Yeah, we like that. And you won't find massive wine estates up there making huge amounts of commercial wine, because it's quite hard to make wine there. There's a lot of traditional wines up in Jura which are made in this special way where you put the wine in a barrel and you leave a little bit of space at the top of the barrel, and then the yeast goes on the top, so you get this yeast that develops on there, and then the flavours from that yeast go into the wine, a bit like they do in sherry. One of the other interesting things is just dry Chardonnay. This guy, Jean-Francois Gannavac, he's one of the leading growers, and if you can find a bottle of this, you're very lucky. This guy is a magician, really good. So you get producers like Philippe Bonnard, you remember this because it's got a fox on it, and these guys, L'Abbé, bit like Burgundy, like wines that really smell like rocks and taste like the place, but they've got their own sort of Jura flavour. So if you find a superstar grower like Bonnard, like L'Abbé, the key thing for me with these wines is energy. When you put them in your mouth, they sort of explode with acidity. They're like huge intensity and huge acidity. And if you get all of those in balance, it's magic. So these have become quite fashionable in recent years. And the traditional wines of the Jura, the ones with a bit of yeast sitting on the top of the barrel, you might see in a small, stubby little bottle called Vin Jaune, and that's very oxidized, sort of yellowy coloured wine. They taste like nuts and sherry, and they taste a bit weird. But with a bit of Comté, it's amazing, because that nuttiness and the acid and the fat, it all mingles together and it's perfect. Sauvignon and Chardonnay. So Chardonnay is quite a neutral grape normally, but if it's grown in the right place and the right conditions, it really takes on the place a bit more. It's going to have a unique expression of Chardonnay in that place. Sauvignon, you don't often see that in other places. You normally see it in the Jura, and it can give like a grapefruity, zesty quality that you can smell in the glass. It's not quite aromatic, it's not like Sauvignon Blanc. This is Sauvignon, but it's not overpowering, so it also takes on the place really well. Red wines from Jura, you're going to find light, vibrant, really fresh and really easy to drink and go really well with food. So lots of food reds that aren't massive but have lots of intensity. So you might get a very pale coloured wine like this. This was great. Domaine de la Tournelle. This Ploussard was so light in colour and quite vibrant and like prickly on the tongue. So if you like juicy wines but with acid and organic flavours like foresty, outdoorsy flavours as well, then it's a really nice area to explore. I'm going to see what the World Atlas of Wine says. This is the book you want. If you're discovering new regions, this is it. What does it say? Jura. Well, here we are. Bit like Burgundy but cooler and wetter. The red grapes, it says here that make light rose-scented wines with the colour of pale tomato juice. Trousseau is a deeper coloured but less widespread Jura grape. It's got peppery and violet scented aromas. Nice. that's it. There's no. But for other regions, this is a very good book. That's it.
The #1 wine enthusiast, coming to you from Newcastle, England, the Geordie Wine Guide.